What's the deal, baby? You already know it is the big boss, how boss dog K poke through the door, here to talk this boxing. What's good with y'all boys, man? I'm a little late to a party, you know what I'm saying? I've been working a lot, you know what I mean? Getting to the money. Let's drop some content real quick. Terrence Crawford in a separate interview, not the Brian Custer interview. I'm gonna post a link in the description. I think they got it off of Fight Hype, but I read the article on Boxing Scene. You know what I mean? I read a lot of their articles. And Terrence Crawford said that he'll beat Jermell Charlo's ass easy. Let's talk about that. So this is all stemming from off of, if you don't remember, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, Jermell Charlo did a live. Somebody in the comment section brought up Terrence Crawford. Jermell Charlo responded. You know what I mean? And Terrence Crawford, on the Brian Custer podcast, basically was asked by Brian Custer, how he felt about Jermell Charlo's comments, and that's what he said, he'll beat Charlo's ass easy. He also said some things like, which I made a video about, where, Terrence Crawford says he's done more in the sport of boxing than both Charlos, and they've been in the sport longer than him. And, he said, if anything, they're piggybacking off of him because he, was undisputed first. He also said Charlo just walks around angry, and, when he beat Charlo ass, Charlo gonna do nothing but cry, and be mad at himself. My thoughts on this, okay? Why is Bud Crawford talking about Charlo? Now, I get it. In this interview, he was asked, but even if you're asked, Tank just did this. When they was talking about Ryan, Tank said, I'm focused on Hector Garcia. It's that simple, bro. It's no other way to put that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Buddy was like, I'm focused on Hector Garcia. In other words, I don't give a damn about what y'all talk about. This is what I'm focused on. You know what I mean? And that needs to be the mindset of Terrence Crawford. Now, it's fight week for him. He ain't really been doing a lot of talking. He just kind of been working. You see pictures of him working and stuff like that. But he been doing a lot of talking about Jermell Charlo and Spence. Now, he's kind of narrowed down a little bit. Like, I won't say narrowed down. He's kind of slowed down on doing that, I guess because it's fight week. But he ain't really been, but the past couple weeks, he had Errol Spence name in his mouth or Charlo name in his mouth. And, I have to disagree with him as he says he's done more in the sport of boxing. I look at it like this. He has become undisputed, but who has he fought to become undisputed? Jermell Charlo's road to undisputed was a better road and run than Terrence Crawford's, right? Now, Terrence Crawford also brought up in the article that he's pound for pound. They don't see nobody mentioning Jermell Charlo's being pound for pound. Well, the reason why they don't mention Jermell Charlo's being pound for pound is simply for the fact they don't like him. It ain't got nothing to do with him as a fighter. People don't like Jermell Charlo. Just like they don't like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? People keep Jermell Charlo off of the pound for pound list because they don't like him. It ain't got nothing to do with he can't fight. None of that shit. Because he can fight. He's undisputed. He's knocking motherfuckers off. He fighting tough competition. Fighters that they said that was gonna beat him, he beat them. He knocked them out. You know what I'm saying? So we can't sit here and say, oh, it's because he's getting, favoritism, because he's not. The one that's getting favoritism is Terrence Crawford. He's the one getting put on the pound for pound list, and he's not fighting pound for pound competition. Name a time where Terrence Crawford fought a top 5 welterweight. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking. Even at 140. Now, his 140 run, it's like it is what it is. There was not a lot to pick from at 140. It wasn't a lot of talent there like it is now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can't sit here and be like, oh, I accomplished this. Who the fuck did you beat to accomplish that? You know what I mean? Like, he keeps throwing that shit around as if like he went through an onslaught of tough fights and tough fighters. You know what I'm saying? He ain't went through those type of fights, bro. He hasn't fought those fights. You know what I mean? He ain't fought no killers. There's a reason why he ain't fought them. You know? And I'm gonna drop another video because Terrence Crawford said there's not too many people calling out Terrence Crawford's name. Okay? We're gonna drop a video on the reason for that. But my point is that you haven't, in my opinion, you haven't accomplished more than Jermell Charlo. Because in my opinion, I look at the degree of difficulty, the type of fighters you're fighting. You're not fighting, if you're not fighting top competition, yeah, you're going to breeze through a division. You know what I'm saying? For example, Canelo, when he was at 160, right? He moved up. He fought Triple G. He was on a campaign at 160. But then Jamal Charlo, my bad, moved into the division. You know? So he like, oh, let me move up to 168. Right? Moved up to 168. And all the top guys at 168, Canelo still ain't fought him. I mean, he fought like one. And that's Caleb Plant. I give him credit. But that's what he doing. He moved to these divisions he thought he could breeze through. He moved up to 175 because he thought, I'll beat Bivol real quick and get a belt. He ain't fighting Better Biv. He didn't look at Better Biv and say, you know what? I'm going to fight that motherfucker. He looked at Bivol and thought, that shit's sweet. I'm finna whoop his ass and get a belt real quick. And it backfired on him. You know what I mean? Bivol the real deal. You feel me? So it's the principle of the whole thing. That's what happened to Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford at 140 knew, shit, man, I'm finna get these belts to come undisputed. Ain't no trouble. I guarantee you, if they had some killers at 140, Terrence Crawford wouldn't have fought him. He could talk all that shit how he wants to. Actions speak louder than words. I only could judge you by your actions. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have fought him. He would have come up with some way, some excuse why he couldn't fight him. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. Him trying to use, oh, y'all did this and I did that. Like I said, in my opinion, I look at the degree of difficulty. You ain't had no tough fights at 140. You damn sure ain't had no tough fights at 147. That's just what it is. You ain't fought nobody where that's going to make you level up. He ain't fought nobody like that. That's just facts. Jermell Charlo had to level up each time he fought. Erickson Lubin. What was they saying in the Erickson Lubin fight? Right? Let's even go back further. Right? When he won the WBC belt from Jackson, right? Right? He was losing to that boy, getting outboxed because he wasn't listening to Derrick James. He finally listened to Derrick James for 1 second and landed a shot and got that belt. And then, the rest is history after that. Fought Hatley, who everybody was picking Hatley to beat that boy Charlo. And it was like, Hatley, man, he the next Floyd, and blah, blah, blah. Just his fighting style, right? And even in amateur boxing, Charles Hatley was, a lot of they was like, man, Hatley finna beat the brakes off Charlo. What happened? That boy went night, flatline that boy. You know what I'm saying? Erickson Lubin. They was saying Lubin, man. They was giving Lubin all his TV time. I remember because I was watching, the little the little fight camps and shit. Erickson Lubin was getting so much TV time, so much shine. They just knew he was finna get that belt. Charlo knocked that boy out 1 round. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Erickson Lubin a bad fighter. Erickson Lubin is a damn good fighter. But Charlo knocked that boy out, stopped him. You know what I'm saying? Tony Harrison. He had a controversial loss to Tony Harrison. He didn't get his ass whooped, like destroyed. He made some mistakes in the Tony Harrison fight. You know what I mean? Came back and fought him a second time. What happened? Castano made some mistakes in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Came back a second time. That boy was on his knees. So like I keep saying, at the end of the day, Charlo, his run at 154, his degree of difficulty was tougher than Terrence Crawford's road to undisputed at 140. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Danny Garcia, his run at 140, he fought killers. You know what I'm saying? Regis Prograis fighting better competition than Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. So, him sitting there talking about the stuff he talking about, he needs to be worrying about David Evanesian. He don't need to talk about Errol or Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I post a link in the description. Y'all can go read the article, do your thing, pray for everybody, peace be among you, boss gone.